You are listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the urban sports scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Your hosts are Wole and Mo. Glenn and Ray Jeezy are out, but we're not alone. We also have the homie Adam Aniba from the Burgundy and Gold Report. What's good, Adam?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, man, glad to have you on. What's going on, Mo? How you doing, my man?
I'm good, boss. Can you send me that lineup?
The outline's out there. I emailed it to you. Oh, you ain't on there? It's all good. Don't worry about it. This freestyle, don't worry about it. We're going with it. Don't worry about it.
You got it.
I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll just take over. Hey, but anyway, yeah, we got it's a big weekend because Mo is our Giants fan.
Yep.
And it's all Burgundy and Gold and everything, like for the Commanders, but we get a giant vibe every once in a while. And in weeks like this, we're gonna get that vibe. So anyway, before we get into the particulars, and before we talk about the big game, hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything and like our All Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channel. Hit the red subscribe button. Like the first video, like the second video, like the third video, like the fourth video, like that fifth video. It's great for the algorithm. It means that channel pops up and you can like more videos. Does me wonders, and it adds to the subscribers because then other people subscribe to the channel. So come on, help us out. Anyway, also, man, keep blessing us, keep blessing the homie Mo with some followers on Twitter. Adam, you see Adam's see Adam's handle too. Follow him on Twitter as well. You can follow me, but I'm all about the smoke. You may not want to follow me, so it's all good. Hey, anyway, it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Like I mentioned before, we'll talk about the Commanders rematch against Mo's New York Giants. I gotta say Mo's New York Giants because it is Mo's team. All right, man. This Sunday night, Washington has the big divisional home game against the Giants. The Commanders are currently the 6th seed in the NFC playoff race. The Giants are the 7th seed. I'm gonna start with you, Adam. What are the keys for a Commanders victory over the New York Giants?
It's pretty simple. If as good as Barkley is, that guy's one of the best in the league, no doubt, 100%. Yeah. But this Daniel Jones shit, if they, it's ridiculous. Like you key on him, like that's it. Like I'm not saying that I'm that confident in the team. I'm just saying I think if you key on him, you don't let him run. You make him one dimensional. You take away that play action. I think you got it. And other than that, I think Taylor Heineke, they've been winning kind of in spite of him. I think if he just doesn't turn the ball over, they commit to the run. I think, they can win a, 3-6 point, I don't see any blowouts coming, but I think if they can get St. Juice back, that's going to be huge because they didn't have him for that. So I think right now that's the key. This Chase Young stuff, I kind of feel like they're fluffing us. And they're again, and where I'm hearing this thing about sportsmanship, gamesmanship. Oh. So to prep for him, even though like there's no real intention for him to play anytime soon, but I think having him out there would give him a boost. But in the end, exactly, just key on him. Keep Barkley under 80 yards. Keep Jones under 20 yards rushing. I think other than that, they've got a lot of injuries on the team. Washington has, more than enough. I get it. Yeah. Schweitzer is going to be playing center. So that's going to be the 5th one now.
Maybe better than Martin.
It's an upgrade. He probably was the 2nd. So, in the end, I think Washington only loses if they beat themselves in this one.
Mo, I'm sorry with you. What are the keys for? I mean, I know it's hard for you to say that, but what are the keys for? It's a Commanders podcast. I gotta.
No.
What are the keys?
I
know you are. I ain't say you were. Where are the keys for Washington victory for the Commanders? I mean, how could Washington stop the Giants? Like, I'll ask you that because you're a Giants fan.
How can Washington stop the Giants?
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes down to containing 26. I think if you can contain 26, because he's the more explosive out of the two. I understand the Daniel Jones point. Saquon Barkley has notoriously done some damage against this team. Yeah, in the past, right? Like, so he's the one player that is exceptional beyond anybody else on the Giants, right? So I think you have to play the run to contain him so that he does not get loose. And then just do a better job at making sure that Daniel Jones does not extend drives. Yeah. And pick up the D-line is as talented as they can be. They can stay home for one game. Right. Give up the pursuit for sacks to play a cleaner game so that Daniel Jones doesn't slip out the back on you. And now you're in a predicament. You know, because if you're sending somebody to hopefully get to him, now
Everybody's
everybody's in man and everybody's back is turned to him, and he has lanes to go to, especially if they're rushing up the field, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's containing 26, keeping 26 at bay gives them the best chance. And if you think about it, 26 had I believe he had 9 carries in the second half for 1 yard.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of his damage was done in the first half. He ended the game with 63 yards with the one in the second half. And that's where the game shifted.
Right.
That's where the game shifted.
I know. I have in my fantasy football team. I'm in the playoffs, so I do kind of even get a touchdown. Just one touchdown. I'm cool with it. But no, I'm with Adam. I think that because it's just a common thing, man. When it comes to Washington and the Giants, it's one dude. I mean, 26 is I agree with you, Mo. 26 has terrorized the team too. But it's to be expected when you're that good. When you're that good, that is to be expected. When you are Saquon Barkley, it's if you are an Emmitt Smith, if you are a Barry Sanders, you are an Adrian Peterson, when you play these type of teams, your hope is to contain that type of individual, right? That is your hope. It's never about stopping; it was about containing them. But this Danny Dimes dude though, the white Mike Vick is
Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic is something else. This is a problem because he doesn't do this to everybody.
Right.
He does this to this one team consistently, and that's the issue. You gotta stop that. You gotta try something else. You gotta say, you know what? We're gonna eliminate this one thing. We know what we gotta stop 26. I think that should be number one for real. I do 26 because you don't want 26 to be a problem and the quarterback to be a problem. So 26 is always number one on the list. I agree with you. It's always, but it's gotta be pretty high on the list to say, you know what? We gotta stop Danny Dimes. We just gotta do it. We just gotta we gotta stay content. We got to if it's saying, you know what, we don't want to do it, but Jamin, you gotta be a spy. We're gonna have to make you a spy. You got to account for him like you would account for Jalen Hurts. You gotta do that. The way they accounted for Jalen Hurts, it was good. You gotta treat him the same way. I don't get this ego because you don't think Danny Dimes can run like Jalen Hurts? No, he's been doing it to you for years now. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and thinking you're gonna get a different result. No, you're getting the same result because you're doing the same thing. All right, that's my thing. Stop. My thing is the main key is you gotta stop. Well, the main key is obviously I think it's easy to say we gotta stop Saquon Barkley. I think it's easy, so I'm not gonna. But the main thing for real to me is I don't want to see Daniel Jones getting 50 yards rushing. I don't want even 50. I think you gotta really pay attention to him. Make him stay in the pocket and make him throw the football. He's gonna get to you. He's gonna get boot action. We know that.
That's what
all day.
I think that's what it is. Right? I think that specificity that you just made,
yeah,
is what really is the key.
Yeah.
Is stopping him from extending those drives on that backside or whatever side, because he's going to get some RPOs.
There's RPOs, but not the 50-yard, 30-yard runs.
He should not be dashing for 12, 15 at piece at a time.
And my thing is I'm not. He's mobile. He is. He's fast.
He's slippery though. It's not just he's fast. He's slippery.
Yes.
That's the thing. Very underrated. Lamar Jackson, couple guys in this NFL. It's not just about speed. It's just slippery. Gets out of situations. Pocket awareness. And
he's actually good with the ball, running the football. He has running instinct. You see it. I'm not it is, but when you pay attention to it, like Jalen Hurts has great running instinct, and Washington paid a lot of attention to Jalen Hurts. In the pocket. You saw the Eagles game, you paid attention to him in the pocket. Have the same idea when it comes to.
I'll tell you this though, one thing that I watched between those two games, exactly, it makes sense to fans. Why can't they stop him? I'm going to tell you one thing that I saw from Hurts. Hurts has so many tells when he's going to run. That's what helps Washington defense. And that's what I say about Jones. Jones doesn't have a lot of tells. He looks like he's going to drop back. He's going to go this way, and he just gets out of it. Hurts, as good as he's playing, I see a lot of tells in what he's doing. And I think sometimes he's easier to key on. But I think with Daniel Jones, they know that if they keep him backwards, you have Allen and Payne are just winning the one-on-ones. That's what it's all about. So I think they're just going to get him out on the edges, and they have to know that. You talk about Jamin Davis, but, Curl, that's another one that I want to see closer to the line because Derek Forrest has shown enough. And the other guys, even Butler, they've been rotating 4 or 5 safeties, Reeves, they have enough to cover that back end. So I think you got to have Curl and Davis, in that front area, accounting for Barkley and Jones.
Yeah. Also, a key is to make sure that Holmes is not playing cornerback for Washington.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's another key that, I mean, St. Juice he's in practice, so it looks like he's gonna be healthy. I won't say it looks like it's leading up to him playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, Holmes not playing would be good for Washington. If for some reason St. Juice can't play, then Danny Johnson should be the cornerback. But
probably,
yeah,
even though it's not saying much, but yeah,
but it's better than out the Christian. Holmes. That was.
He's young though. He bites on everything.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, like that was like Wild Goose. They always saying to me.
He's a depth. They're depth guys. You got a bunch of fourth and fifth corners. Playing first and second right now. It's a problem.
Yeah, but I think that's the key. I mean, for the defense, to me, is to try to avoid the big play and try to get the fans involved early. You obviously start fast. No one starts slow. They got to start fast. But I mean, those are the keys for me. But but I think I mentioned a little bit. I think Adam mentioned it earlier. Actually, not me. He mentioned it earlier about Chase Young. It looks like Chase Young will be back. All reports are saying he's gonna be back. Even had on a prior show, an individual said that he looks like he's gonna be back. But even that, if he comes back, do you think he gives this defense an added boost? I'm gonna start with you, Mo. Do you think Chase Young gives this defense an added boost? The Chase Young now.
I think anytime you get a player like that with that immense kind of talent, size and stature, I don't think it can hurt anything that's going on. Chase is in his NFL career, he hasn't been a big sack guy, but there's pressure there. There's running, there's playing the run on the way to the quarterback. There's energy plays. There's infectiousness about Chase Young when he's on the field that I think helps lift this team, right? And just the confidence it must give to everybody else, knowing that we have another guy that's supposed to be different on the field. So and him being a hometown kid, I love to see nothing but Chase Young healthy and thriving and doing what he do in the league. You know what I mean? Like I said from Jump Street, I felt like he should sit out the whole year.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't think he should play this year. I think coming back, wearing a brace, getting a 300-pounder that has bad intentions leaning on you. I don't know if that's the best way to go right now. If there's been setbacks and things that are causing him not to play, because we've been hearing about this play situation since like week 8.
Yeah.
Right. So for real. If you want to, if you want to be frank with it, but like I think the reality was like around the midway point and all that.
Yeah.
And given the late bye, things of that nature. I think if Chase plays, he's going to be an infusion of talent and an infusion of juice.
More energy than anything.
Yeah, and energy that more than anything, anything that he does is going to get the crowd involved, is going to get his teammates involved, because everybody's going to be happy to see him out there doing what he loves to do. So I can't imagine a situation where Chase plays and it's not better.
Adam, what about you?
Well, I'll give you a scenario. 10 snaps is probably the ceiling we're looking at the first game he gets back. But just imagine in a situation, you're bringing him in on third down and 12, and they're trying to key on Payne, they're trying to key on Allen, even Sweat, and somehow he gets a sack. You talk about the momentum that could shift for an entire game, even if that's early on. I think that's an underrated, aspect of what he brings. But I hear you. I don't really see the risk in the reward matching the risk, because from what I understand, it's not likely that he could re-injure that, because I guess basically on the surgery, the graft, everything they did from the other leg, but there is other things that it can affect, hamstrings, quads, there's a whole list of things. But the thing is, I don't see any reason not to activate him. That doesn't mean you have to play him. So I think that maybe they'll do that. But again, I'm just not sure, because it sounds like the same thing we've been hearing every week. But if he does, again, I think you'll see him 10 snaps.
Like I said before, I blew my knee out. I tore my meniscus and my ACL at the same time, and it's not about hurting yourself again. Just after the injury, if you're strong, and the trust is and that too is the trust. But also for an NFL player, it's your work that whole year is about strengthening your knee, but it's not about other things to make you a better football player, like exposure, contact, working on like he went to Von Miller's camp, camp. But he wasn't practicing all that stuff. Like he wasn't doing the dip, the lean to get all that stuff to make you a better football player. That you would work on the off season if you were healthy. You weren't doing that. Like you were just working on strengthening your knee. So it's different. You're not gonna get like your skill set is gonna be behind because you weren't working on skill. Like you're working on strengthening your knee. So
It's like a year. It's like a year off. It's almost like a year off of development.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's
because
a year off
pass
of
rushers
development. Yes,
every year. You've seen it from Montez Sweat. You're seeing the punch. You're seeing he's got a lot more counters going.
Yeah.
Young, I'm not. Don't expect
and he won't
that.
have it this year. Like everybody's talking about the same things that folks were complaining about technique and skill of rushing the passer, not just worrying about just working on skill. Will be the same issue this year if it is an issue. The only thing that I would say that, like to your point, Adam, that would kind of make it easier is because how well Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen are playing.
Yes.
That he won't have to do but so much to get
one-on-ones.
But
one-on-ones.
Yeah, exactly. And but I guess my thing about this game is I don't know if this would be the game I would play him because you're playing against a mobile quarterback, and I feel like this game, there's a lot that could go wrong, and not for injury. It's just that him trying to rush the passer and this quarterback going right by him. He's not gonna have the same. I don't think he's gonna have the same speed. So like that to me, I would give him more of a dormant quarterback. Like for me, like his first game would be more of a dormant quarterback.
San Francisco, more likely.
Yeah. But I guess the thing about
that kid can move too, though.
Huh? Yeah, but not like Daniel Jones.
Nah,
not like
really.
Daniel Jones.
He can move a little bit, but not really.
Not like Daniel Jones.
I like what Adam mentioned though. I like Chase to come in the Alden Smith role. Remember Alden Smith and
that's good. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good role.
You know it's a passing down.
Yeah.
You're not getting leaned on, like you said. You're not getting leaned on. That guy's going backwards.
Exactly. So you get to attack. You get to dictate the pace. And I do think that I do think that when you're rehabbing, you're not really getting to football work the way you need.
You're not doing football
right.
Work
So like if it's I understand the severity of it. Like it's year 3. They have to make a decision on an option. I'm sure. Right. Like all that is going through his head. So I understand the want to play, but like he has to bet on himself. They're probably going to deny the option because it doesn't make sense to pick it up. If you ask me,
I think they're going to take the option. Actually, to be honest.
I mean, they probably will take the option, but it's not. That's not what you should
play.
do. It's not what you should do. As a team, as an organization, I wouldn't pick up that option. I will see what you can do next year, and then I'll pay you. And then I'll pay you. You know what I mean? Like. Because let's say they pick up the option, he doesn't produce next year. Now you're stuck with if I'm reading it right, I think Little Bosa's option.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa's option is almost $18 million. So I know Chase came after him. So Chase has had to be 19 or 20.
I think it's 20. Isn't it 20?
Yeah. So I'm not paying $20 million for you to come in. Let's say if Chase even matches his best year, which was rookie year, he'd have 15 sacks in 4 years.
Yeah,
I'm not paying you $20 million for 15 sacks.
You got to get sacks.
Yeah, you got to get sacks.
Sacks are a lot of pressures,
a lot of pressures. I think they're going to because he's the second pick overall. There's so much. I Chase. I think Chase would be amazing to get healthy. I really believe he has to get healthy, and he has to I think he needs a year. He needs a year to get situated. You've seen Mo. You've seen him grow up. I mean, he's from the area. I've seen him play in Ohio State. There's no doubt in my mind, being a Michigan fan, watching this dude play. There's no doubt in my mind this dude is going to be special. If it ain't here, it's going to be somewhere else. Dude going to be special.
ACLs aren't setting people back like they used to.
They're not setting people back. He's going to
it just takes time.
Yeah, he's going to be special. So, I mean, you can do the situation like you said, Mo. You can wait it out and do that, or you have a Deron Payne situation where you got to pay a lot of money this year because you decided to have him work for that contract. So that 1 year now, you could have got him on a bargain. Now you're gonna have to pay that for that year. You're gonna have to pay enough. You know what I mean, in terms of annual salary. So, but yeah, I agree with you. I get your point, but I think that for me, 10 snaps I think is perfect. Something limited. Cause I'm not worried about health with him. Like it's not a health thing with me. It's more of I guess I have an issue with fans' expectations, and it bothers me. Like that's the thing, and I don't want him to. If he doesn't play well, he's a bust.
They're gonna do that anyways.
All this because there's a side that just wait for Chase to fail, and they want him to fail, and his fan base, and I don't like it. I hear it on the radio, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? And it's quick. Well, let's trade Chase. We can get rid of him. Let's have this conversation. I'm like, dude, this dude is young. He had his first year was defensive rookie of the year. Like, okay, all sophomore year, but okay, all right, like. The whole
Snyder's-
defense sucked.
Snyder's-driven fans crazy. You got to understand that. Like the
Yeah.
thing is, it's a real form of PTSD. What he's done. Like I've talked to a lot of fan bases, and they've had bad owners. It's nothing like this guy, and it's nothing like the media portrays him. And it's like it's not their fault because he's the story in town.
Yeah.
So it really has affected this team, and for once they're winning in spite of all that crap, even in spite of the coaching, because the coaching is not good either on any part of the team. They're winning in spite of all that. So that's what gives me hope. But like you talk about Young, I think you got to lock down Payne, Sweat, and somehow figure out Curl at the same time. This is a big ask for next year and after year. So, but the quarterback situation, that's why we would talk about it all the time. This is not the year, but how you got to give that guy a chance because to me he's better than what they got.
Oh, I agree. So we had a poll on our Twitter page. It said who do you want to see return the most, Chase Young or St. Juice? 26% say Chase Young, 74% say Juice.
No, that's smart at least.
Yeah, at least
that's smart at least.
It is, right? Yeah, I mean, people want to, they know the importance of this run and when St. Juice is into this run. So, well, and this is about 19. Like we have like 19. How many people voted? Yeah, 19 people voted. So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully St. Juice does play. I think Adam, I'm gonna get to you on that. How important do you think St. Juice is to this team for this game?
Huge, because even though Giants, they want to run the ball, they're still going to go downfield. And I think if you don't have him on the field, they're going to try to target whoever is not, wherever Fuller is. And it's pretty obvious. So I think that Washington would have to dedicate a lot of, safety coverage to whoever side to help if it's Holmes, said Danny Johnson. But I think if you have him in, even if he's, they're talking about, is it mid, high ankle? I think it's a mid ankle sprain. He's probably 70%. That's better than anybody else they got besides Fuller. So I think if you can get him on the field, it's going to really give them pause to go deep. There'll be a lot more short intermediate stuff. And then that's where Washington can keep everything in front of them because that's the main key.
Yeah, I think it's important to have him on Slayton. He's the big play guy. Mo, how much confidence do you have in Slayton? He's a guy, he gets open, man. Yeah. I know. No, Mo. Mo, he gets open. This is what drop pass. He gets open though, Mo.
I want to do the show in a proper light. I don't want things to boil over on the show, sir. I think you threw that question at me. I'll put it like this.
He always gets open against Washington, bro. Like he always gets open against Washington.
I'll say this about Darius Slayton. He's a 6th-round draft pick out of Auburn, 4.3 speed.
Yeah, man.
I think he had 1 year where he was like the 3rd receiver, and he did that. That's the capacity that I believe a player that he is, a 3rd receiver type deal. He's been thrust into the number one, and he doesn't have that ability on a consistent basis. Yeah. Right? When it comes to the Commanders, the Washington football team, whatever you want to call them, when he plays, he's had some egregious drops that have gotten Washington either the W or the tie.
Yeah.
Last year, FedEx, I was there in attendance. I was in that end zone. I was in the south end zone. Where
he dropped it.
He just dropped it. I'm talking about he was, I don't even want to say, he was open. He was so wide open. It's like a busted coverage. Yeah. And then this year, that catch, the catch that he dropped in the 4th quarter, close to 2 minutes left in the game, he catches that, the game's over. The game is over. The Giants are going to run the football underneath the 2-minute clock, either get a field goal or continue to drive.
No, he can field goal. Graham Gano making that.
That's what I'm saying. Like
he's making that.
Like if he catches that ball right there, they're already close to no range. I'm just talking about the momentum, right? You talk about momentum. Yeah. That momentum would have led the Giants to either go down, like keep progressing down the field, kill time.
That was that was under 2 minutes. Yeah, that was no.
It was around a 2-minute warning.
It would have been over. Yeah. It would have been over. It was 2 minutes. Like, it was pretty much the end of the game. Like that.
It was to end the game. That he catches that is a big momentum shift. You guys have to start using those timeouts.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree. Yeah.
You get a fresh set of downs. You get to run the ball. You get to do read option, whatever you want to do to sustain a drive, and then either leave out of there with a field goal or a touchdown.
Yeah.
So that's 2 times he's cost this team against the Washington Commanders. So
he's a key.
Right now he's a double agent.
So he's a key. But what about Hodges? Like, is Hodges? Yeah, number 18?
Hodgins is
He's been coming up. He's been playing
he's
well.
been coming up. I mean, he's a big body. He's a big body kid. He has all the tools, but like, not coming from a major program, you got to find your way around. And I don't think this is what they envisioned, but he's making the most out of his opportunities.
He's making plays.
He's making the most out of his opportunities. So I'd like to see if he can be a factor this week coming up to see if
the other tight end, he's been making plays all year until when he had like a busted eye socket. But other than that, he's making plays.
Bellinger,
right.
Tight end out of San Diego.
He's been making plays.
A lot of plays, man. He's making a lot of plays.
Tight ends kill Washington. That's what I talk about when they talk about San Francisco, already looking past San Francisco. I said, no, Kittle can call total. He can get 3 touchdowns and go 150 yards and do Washington in.
Who's looking past? Wait, talking about who looking past San Francisco?
What's that?
Somebody's looking past San Francisco?
Oh, I see so many people. As soon as Garoppolo went down, people look, and I'm like, how can you look past off a per D? You showed 38 points or 35 points.
They just beat who? They just beat Miami. It's get out of here. People are crazy.
People are crazy, man. Because they're just
Miami and Tampa.
They're looking at 179 yards. Those 3, but I'm like, it's 3 touchdowns.
That's 3 touchdowns, man.
You know what I mean?
And Jimmy G was doing the same thing. The same exact thing.
That's we're not watching the games. That's you can tell the difference.
Yeah, I know. It's people crazy. They're insane. All right. Going into this game, do you expect fans to show out Adam? And also, how important would a win in this, in this environment, this game, this rematch with all the implications? How important will this game be to building the fan base?
I think this win will they'll find their way to the playoffs. Number one, if they can get this win, and number two, I think there'll be a lot of Giants fans there. I grew up around there, and there's a lot of Giants fans. So I think you'll have a large contingent. But if they win this game, then I think you can start to see, a lot more people showing out, because I think now the bandwagons come back. A lot of people are like, okay, now the playoff percentage are 91% if they win this game. Because you're looking at all the teams. It's not just them winning from now. It's all the other teams, all the dominoes that can fall. Yeah. Then you're going to see a lot more people coming out. But I think there will be, a Sunday night nationally televised game. Yeah, I think a lot of people that weren't going to come are going to come. I think that's a huge buy for them flexing the game. I think that probably made a difference in attendance. I bet between at least 10,000 or more.
I agree.
People want to be on TV too.
I agree. I mean, it's a moment now. It's a moment now. You know what I mean?
It's huge.
The game is a moment now, being on Sunday Night Football. It's a moment. There's build up. You know what I mean? You got to sit all day on Sunday to wait for the game on Sunday night. You know what I mean?
Watch everything. Yep.
Especially, and then the storyline can't get any better. It was a tie ball game.
Yeah.
Last time they played, you had a bye week to lick your wounds and come back and see what you can improve. So there's a lot of narratives here. What's going to be the adjustment narrative? What's Taylor going to do different adjustment? Can the defense stop Daniel Jones adjustment narrative? There's a lot of narratives here.
Can they?
Are we a legitimate playoff team?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's a lot that's going into this.
And I'll say this too. This is a game for Taylor Heineke. This is huge for his career. If he somehow comes out and really plays when I say lights out for him, that's 200 yards passing, runs for 30, 2 touchdowns or whatever, no interceptions. You're talking about that's the difference of potentially them, making him a starter next year. Unless he totally flops.
But him potentially somebody else taking a chance.
$5 to $8 million extra a year too, because right now our Spot Track already has him. It's crazy. They already have him at 19 million, which I think is insane.
Who?
But if he wins it.
Spot
Track has Taylor Heineke at 19 million.
Stop smoking that stuff.
Yeah.
Get out of here. They better stop.
That's why I
let this man have a great game on Sunday Night Football. Finish out the year. You don't got to worry about y'all paying the 19 million. Somebody will.
Oh, somebody. I hope they do.
Look at all the bums that have been paid. Look, I can't remember his name. That tall dude. He was around the NFL, starting Tampa Bay all around. He was getting 15
Blaine
million.
Gabbert?
Yeah, come on. No, not Gabbert. Even before him. I'm blank on this.
The dude, Glendon. You talking about Glendon?
Yeah, Glendon. You got it with the neck. I don't know.
Like Glendon.
He was getting 15 million for playing a backup. Like, if someone like that's going to do it, if Taylor Heineke gets into the playoffs,
but you know what? But you know why he got it though? Because his arm is still sexy. That's why. His arm is sexy. That's why Glenn always used to love, because his arm is sexy. He has a sexy arm. Like, that arm has always been.
Taylor needs to run.
That gave him draft. That got him drafted. Like, he wasn't even supposed to be that highly drafted. Like, when he came out, that arm got him drafted. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think he can get money. I'm not want to knock someone for getting their money. I just don't want Washington paying 19 million.
No, I don't want to see that either.
But I'm sorry. I know Heineke Hive. You just heard me say that. I apologize. I know how y'all get. No, I'm not backtracking. No, I know what I said.
No, Heineke Hive knows how you get.
19. Y'all can have your little 19 mil. He can get that 19 mil somewhere else, man. That's good. I wish the best for him and his family. That's how I'm a nice person. You're just not getting it here. That's all. I'm with you. I'm with you. I do think that for me, I want Heineke to. I think Heineke. This game is big for Heineke because he can't have an average game. Because I think that the writing's on the wall. Like it's day to day. It's day to day. And like if you have a average game or below average game in this game after a bye against the Giants, and no knock on the Mo ain't knock on you, but after what happened last week with the Giants, and you just have you have a bad outing.
And you could see Wentz next week if that happens.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You can
that's the scenario what I don't want to happen.
It can happen. Like I feel like there's a reason. Everything's added up for a reason. Everything's added up for a particular reason. Like I think the percentage of snaps now is over. Like there is an opportunity. Yeah, it's over. So you don't have to pay him that. Like or the draft pick.
Second round.
You're good. Like I feel like now it's up to Heineke. If he starts off, I'm telling you, if he starts off slow and bad, to a point where they need
if he starts getting sacked a lot and throwing interceptions.
Always interceptions. Cause for me, it's not sacks with him. Because I don't really think it's sacks with him. But for me, because I think that he is mobile enough to get away from stuff. My thing is that if he throws those Heineke balls and the Giants catch him, then I think that keep looking at Ron. If you watch the game, keep looking down at Ron. Keep looking at Ron.
Yeah.
And keep looking.
Well, you see with Gibson. That with turnovers, that's the one thing you can see he doesn't play. When they start throwing the ball, he'll make a change.
Yeah, he'll make a change. So that's the thing. I agree with both of you all. I think this you and Adam Mo that this is important for Heineke. Like this is a career game for him.
Yeah,
because it's on the grandest light, the grandest stage, Sunday night. Everybody's watching.
And I have a good feeling about that. That's the crazy thing. And I usually don't, especially on Sunday nights game, but I feel like it's all a story. It's a Hollywood story. It's really leading up to him having one of the best games of his career.
I will say this about Ron. On prime time, I looked this up. I'm proud of myself. You don't look stuff up. You just go off with my mind. He is 6-2 in prime time.
Yeah, I saw that.
Washington. He is 6-2. I didn't account it myself.
And they play for him.
Yeah, so he plays well in prime time, which is totally different from any Washington team. Like Ron with the Washington Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them, he's 6-2. His teams play well in prime time. Don't count that Cowboys game last year. That doesn't count though.
That was bad.
Hey man, but predictions. I'm gonna start with you, Mo. Prediction, man. It's okay. Go for it, bro. Go for it.
We'll go with the same score I had last time.
I know you gonna say
21-17, Big Blue.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. All right, Adam.
I got it reversed. Yeah, 21-17 Washington.
Yeah, I think everybody has it pretty close, but I have it 20-10 Washington. I think there's a lot of momentum going to this game. After the bye, get an opportunity. You get an extra week to game plan for a team that just played. I think got the advantage. I think like they played hard for Ron, so I expect them to be prepared.
Let me adjust the score. I got overzealous. 20-17. Because there's no way the Giants are getting
a touchdown.
Yeah, there's no way the Giants are getting 3 touchdowns.
I do 20. See, that's the thing for me. Like, I don't do 3 touchdowns for Washington. I never try to go over 20.
I just did the math in my head. I was like, where we getting 21?
It makes more sense too. Agreed.
Yeah, I never go over 20.
I'm gonna switch to 2017 Washington.
Yeah, like I never. That's my basic score with Washington. Like it's either 17 or 20.
Field goal.
I never go over.
Sly's good for a field goal or 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I never go over, and the only way I can do that, I can't predict defensive touchdowns, so therefore I don't go for it. Like I don't do defensive touchdowns. Like when we got 30 against the Eagles, they ain't count to me because that was a defensive touchdown. That was a defensive touchdown. Or even we scored a lot against the Texans. I mean, Fuller got a pick 6. Like I'm like, those don't count.
You can't account for that.
Yeah, so. But we'll see. But anyway, Adam, before we let you go, man, how can folks catch you on social media and tell us what you got going on, my man?
Yeah, so always find me on Twitter at the B&G Report, and the burgundyandgoldreport.com is my site. December is when I always, even though the season, especially they're still allowing the playoffs, I drop my NCAA draft prospect cards with full scouting evaluations. I dropped the first one now, Jalen Duncan from Maryland, a second rounder with a lot of promise. I think that we've seen one thing with Cosme is that they're probably leaning towards playing him inside next year because you don't start that transition and then go back to it. So I think a guy like Jalen Duncan, left tackle, right tackle, it's an ideal guy they can look in the second round. But I'm looking at a ton of cornerbacks. As always, small school HBCU guys is a really good one. Right up from Jackson State University, SWAC Player of the Year. That'll be coming out this week. Yeah, so just catch me, the Burgundy and GoToPort.com.
Dope, man, dope. Yeah, good what's coming out of the SWAC and the MEAC. You know what I mean? So still wait for my man X to land on spot.
Yeah. And I had a good talk with him too. I left in really limbo with that situation.
Yeah,
but
it's looking good for him though right now. Looking good in terms of his decision.
The transport portal, that whole nonsense that they did really hurt a lot of people like him, you know, because he had like 4 or 5 schools.
Oh my God, ready to go.
Messed up.
Ready to go, man. Ready to go.
Yep. Politics.
Yeah, you know how it is. Anyway, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything and like our All Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. Do not forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channel as well. All right, man, this has been a dope show. Appreciate Adam. Appreciate Mo. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. A Mega. Lead us out, big homie.